I can still remember the first phone call I got from Trilogy Financial Services. It was March of 2003, and I was just back from one of those post-college walkabouts, and I had no idea what I was going to do with the rest of my life, and that might have been the first time I could actually say that. I posted my resume on monster.com, which I'm not even quite certain if that's a website anymore. And I thought to myself, who would give a lost 22-year-old a job, let alone their money to manage? I can still remember what I wore to my first interview: beige khaki pants, white cardigan, no makeup, and I'm pretty sure I didn't even brush my hair that morning. But Trilogy saw something in me that I didn't know existed, and it was the beginning of the best journey ever. I had a rocky start to this career. There are a lot of licenses that are required to do what I do. And let's just say I must have turned my brain off in December when I graduated college, and it didn't turn right back on just because I started taking tests again. And I failed every test once. But it didn't seem to bother me because the next week I would show up to retake that test again. And eventually I would get through them. Now, I will let you know, I did subscribe to a little bit of karma. So the morning before I would take the test the second time, I would go down to the blood bank, donate blood, go take the test. And to this day, I cannot tell you if I passed the test the second time because I was too lightheaded to overthink the answers or what. But by August of 2003, I was seeing clients. It's hard for me to imagine my 22-year-old self. I grew up in Ocean Beach, a little bit of a hippie town. My family's been there since the 40s. And I wasn't the most refined in appearances. I'm pretty sure I didn't pluck my eyebrows until I was 23. And I have like 4 eyebrows, so it's necessary to pluck. I didn't dye my hair, and I probably only cut my hair once a year, and I'm mostly gray right now, so I am a lot more refined today. That never stopped me. When I got this job, I went and I showed up at every bridal bazaar, and I would track down brides getting married, and I'd talk them into financial planning. And then, if I needed more contacts, I would call all those poor people who registered for the bridal bazaar and stalk them until I made contact. And in some cases, I called those people for 2 years because silence wasn't an answer to me. Until they picked up that phone, that was my answer. And after 2 years of calling, one of 2 things would happen. They would pick up the phone and yell at me, or they would be so impressed with my follow-through that they would meet with me. And some of those people are still my clients today. When I reflect back upon that time, I think about how easy life was then and how more of us should enjoy where we are when we're there, because I don't think I truly appreciated how easy life was then. And this is where I will take a little sidebar into my personal journey for the next couple years. In December of 2004, I got married, which was awesome, in Fiji. And then when we came back in 2005, my dying schizophrenic mother-in-law moved in with us in our 400-square-foot apartment and slept on our couch. It's pretty fair to say we didn't have a honeymoon period or phase, and that I got a lesson in growing up and the complicated dynamics that mental illness to that extent will bring to a family. In January of 2006, she passed away. And then I had a new lesson to learn because I don't have a depressed bone in my body, but my husband just lost his last parent. And I underestimated how that impacted him. So I got a dog because life doesn't stop, and I had to find a way to get him out of bed in the morning. And believe it or not, walking that dog did that. And we still have that dog today. He's a great dog. From there, we tried to have children. And, a year went by, and that didn't seem to be happening, so we decided to get physicals. And when Kurt went to get his physical, he mentioned something to the doctor, just a final comment actually, right before he finished that appointment. He said he had this pain in his abdomen. And his doctor's like, let's just get an ultrasound. Why not? So Kurt got an ultrasound, and I won't forget how he described how that ultrasound went, because he said they were joking, and she was doing the ultrasound, and then all of a sudden, she stopped talking to him. And the ultrasound was over, and a couple hours later, he got a call from his doctor, and the doctor asked if he would come back in on Friday, the very next day, for a CT scan. We didn't think anything of it. Oh, it's probably just precautionary. And I went to work in the morning, and he went to his CT scan. And by that afternoon, we had one of, I think, the most difficult phone calls either one of us ever hoped to have, to be honest, because he got the phone call from his doctor saying that he had kidney cancer, and it had metastasized to his liver. And I am a morning person, not a night owl, and I've never missed a night of sleep in my life. And I can tell you, I don't think I slept for 3 days because I didn't know what to do next. And I think I really always felt like I knew what to do next, but I didn't then. And Monday came, and we went to the oncologist, and all of a sudden I realized it wasn't as bad as they had told us, and we had some options. And from that point forward, I never considered that he wouldn't make it through it, and we're very fortunate. But it was a very interesting journey through that period. And this is 2007, back to work life for a minute. In 2007, I was on track for this really great promotion I had been working my whole career for. And we'd had, personal life was not easy that year. And we get to the end of the year, and I was off my promotion number by 1%. And I thought, of course they're going to give me the promotion. Look at everything I've done and how much we've thought through everything, all our distractions. And in January of 2008, my boss pulled me into his office and said, they didn't give you the promotion because the company line is no excuses, no exceptions. And I think at that moment, I might have felt like someone had completely knocked the wind out of me, because I'm looking around and all of my girlfriends are having babies and we're fighting cancer. And my coworkers are getting promoted, and I'm stuck. But I didn't get I didn't get depressed. I actually got angry, and I channeled that anger into focus. So Kurt had his first surgery, and when he was in the recovery room, I ran to the office and saw a client and came back. And we got him into his hospital room, and I can remember I had to go see another client and came back. As crazy as it sounds, I realized the world wasn't going to stop, and I needed to keep going, and Trilogy gave me some focus to do that. Now, birthing children never was something that was going to happen for us, but I can tell you, I am grateful to this day, because had I ever gotten pregnant, he wouldn't be here. His cancer gave us a new lease on life and new perspective. It's one of the best things that ever happened to us. And we are so grateful to be able to be on the other side of that. And by the way, we have 2 beautiful children that we did eventually adopt. So 2008, thank you. 2008 was a very interesting year, obviously. Very severe recession. I had to help my clients through that. Very interesting struggles in our personal life. And 2009 came, and it was time to get back on track and move on. So we go back to work, and Trilogy brought in 2 coaches to come and talk to us. And some of you may know them, Robbie Motter and June. And Robbie Motter and June stood in front of a group of us women and talked to us about how people judge you in 30 seconds. They make a decision about you, about your image. And then you should be networking, because there are other ways to build relationships with people. And believe it or not, I looked down and I realized that I had a long way to go with my image. And I started a new routine. I got up every morning and I put my game face on. And I went to work every day like I was going to see my best client ever. And then I realized that I had been building my business like I would just started it, and I never networked before. And I picked myself up and started going to whatever networking group I could find. Other women sat in that room and listened to June and Robbie talk, and they said, those kooky ladies with their big hats. And it's incredible to me that those women changed my life, and other people in the room couldn't hear that message. I have made some of the best relationships networking, people who believed in me and saw the passion I have for serving my clients. And I have June and Robbie definitely to thank for that. So life didn't give this to me. I created it. Kurt created it. Trilogy helped me create it. June and Robbie helped me create it. Not taking no for an answer, and being willing to pave paths that might have been slightly grown over, or forge a path where one wasn't before, and then grow on people like a fungus.